Okay, and welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League. My name is Triumph Man and I will be casting Dignitas versus No Title. This is game number 3 in a best of 3 series, and naturally, as you may have guessed, both teams have won one match apiece. Dignitas getting crushed in game number 1, but then responding in style versus No Title, who really did not find much room to breathe in game number 2. Even with Bulldog getting his favourite hero, really, he did get farmed. He got that Radiance. Was a little bit late. Got picked up a little bit. I think the major downfall that No Title had was the fact that they did not shut down that Brood. They just let her free farm and free farm and free farm. And A2000, well, he completely drilled them with that Brood, and actually went with a deviator from his normal build, which was Manta style first. Instead, went for the Midas as well as the Orchid, but you know what? It worked out in the end anyway. The extra burst damage, as well as, of course, the useful silence, and in fact, very useful in shutting down heroes like Dirge before they can start spamming their ever annoying spells. However, banned straight up, we have the Batrider banned out first by Dignitas, as well as the Darkseid being banned out by No Tidehunter yet again. And the question is, will we see Sven slip through? It's become a fairly common ban actually.
Reserve time.
But we'll see in just a moment what they go for. One second.
Dire team ban.
Someone, Van is asking, when will the YouTube VODs be up? They usually go up fairly quickly. I'm not the person who does the YouTube VODs. However, if you do want to find the VODs, all you have to do is go to our. All you have to do is go to the stream here, click on the videos tab below, go to more videos, and then go to the highlights tab. It's a bit silly how Twitch makes you orient through there now, and I really wish they'd change it back so it's a little bit easier to find the highlights. But you can still see the VODs on this channel as well, because I do cut out all the highlights, so you can find them here. However, Templar Assassin, the first selection here for No Tidehunter, and look at this, S4 going to get his hands on Templar Assassin. We saw exactly how hard he drilled Dignitas with that in game number 1. We'll see. I think Dignitas are going to be a little bit more wary, and we saw exactly how they responded to S4 in game number 2. They gave him no room to farm with the Invoker, ganked him several times during the early game, made sure they shut him down fairly early on, and just didn't give him time to farm. That said though, Invoker is a little bit easier to pick off in the early phases compared to Templar Assassin, and of course she does hit a whole lot harder. That said, S4 went for a bit of a outdated build there with the Invoker. The Quas Wex, not very common anymore. In fact, Invoker's not that common anymore. A lot of people are really shying away from him. It has come down to more the Exort Quas Invoker has become much more popular, but Tidehunter picked up by Dignitas here, and Jakira also selected. Now, Jakira may be part of a 1-2 combo there for a dual mid to try and shut down Templar Assassin, although they could also just pick up Venomancer as well. That said, No Tidehunter, the name comes from No Tidehunter, the fact that even though they don't ban him all that much, it's the fact that they don't like team fighting early on or diving under towers when No Tidehunter, when they suspect that Ravage is available. Now, of course, Ravage has had a couple of nerfs since then, but still, it is definitely a very big worry for them. They do select Rubik, though, which will give them access to Steel. And of course, Envy, a very nasty Rubik player, but Viper picked up by Dignitas. An interesting decision. We'll see where they go with that. But into the second series of bans, should mention that No Title, they have a very nasty set of ganking heroes again. This looks somewhat familiar to their game 1 lineup. We might in fact see Wisp get picked up again. In fact, Dignitas might want to ban that, because we saw exactly how nasty Templar Assassin and Wisp were as a combination. Basically, Wisp, a hell of a force multiplier, but in game number 2, he really caused health. Game number 1, he really caused health for them. Just Blink and Tether being used very effectively to shut down and just pick off heroes, and then just setting them up for meld hits and just general complete domination by the Templar Assassin. So they might decide to pick off. I mean, exactly, we saw how much damage he did. It would make sense for Dignitas to ban it out unless they're hoping to pick it up themselves. However, Viper selected. They might be hoping for Viper to go toe-to-toe with Templar Assassin here. And the range on Viper, combined, of course, with the poison, may be enough to shut down a refraction. We'll see what Viper can do. In fact, Nether Toxin as well, also really, really painful stuff. Winter banned out, though. It looks like Dignitas are losing their options here for the Suicide Heroes. That said, Winter was played as some sort of farmer last match, and oddly enough, Fogged was actually given a semi-support roaming gank role. That is definitely unusual for Dignitas. They don't do that frequently. He's generally the primary farmer for their team. Just double checking. Don't turn the microphone. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Keeper Light banned out by Dignitas, just trying to get that ever frustrating Illuminate taken away from them. Of course, O-Titan, and of course some havoc for them with those Illuminates. So keep a light band out here. Now the next band for Dignitas, it probably, depends where they're putting Titan, whether or not it's going to be a soft support or Jakiro and Titan, or rather Titan is going to be used as a farming hero, because I mean that's definitely a possibility. We've seen exactly how annoying the early mech as well as the pipe can be on the Tide. That said, Viper, I mean A2000, he does build different items. In fact, he's known for his treads, and he goes for treads and then mech on the Viper. Now this is kind of odd, but he believes with between a bottle and treads, just tread swapping, that he should have enough mana to form that mech. And it's rather than going for the early Vanguard on the Viper, in this case, it's basically, again, a mech. You see a lot of heroes pick up the mech instead of just like, say, Vanguard, because basically it's a similar cost, and on top of that, it supports the rest of your team. And also, instead of damage block, you might lose the damage block, but at the same time, you get extra armor out of it, so it's always nice in that situation. But we will see Queen of Pain banned out. Dignitas not going to get their hands on that either, but definitely plenty of team fight potential here. Should also mention A2000 also favours the Arcanum Scepter there on Viper as well. We'll see exactly what he's got planned here, but this is not the first time they've run Viper in the Premier League, so we'll see what they decide to go with here. And whether or not Viper is going to take that solo mid or not, they might actually just try and run him in that trial, but we do have the Lone Druid banned out. I honestly don't think they would have picked Lone Druid though. It would have been a very weird pick, just because Bulldog is likely to be playing the Bounty Hunter in this situation. He generally plays his Suicide heroes, and with Templar Assassin picked up for the mid, it's most likely to be Bounty Hunter in that Suicide lane. I also doubt that even with the pulling regen and the Poor Man's Shield start there on Bounty Hunter, I really doubt they'd throw him in that solo mid versus a Viper. It would be a very rough time for him in that mid lane. But we'll see what Node Tidehunter have planned as well. I mean, they could be planning Rubik most likely to be an Envy here, so looking for another support. In fact, that's what Dignitas probably should be banning out, is support heroes rather than the Lone Druid, because they're looking for another support hero here for Aki. I do suspect Envy will be playing the Rubik. The question is, what will Loader be playing? Of course, Loader is pretty much a master of everything, jack of all trades. Of course, when he played for Zenith, he played pretty much anything they threw at him. They'd pick him up so many different heroes, and Loader would just play it. And generally be their Suicide player, just play almost anything they throw at him there. However, for people just joining us, I should mention that these two teams have played once before in the last 10 days. It was the JD Masters, and the winner was Dignitas. Now, this is tied at 1-1, of course. We'll see who can win this one out, but of course, it's going to come down to the early game, winning those lanes. And of course, No Time are very deft at winning lanes, but once you get that early advantage against them, it can be very difficult for them to come back. That said, though, we did see their next game early in the week where they came back very effective. I think it was against Virtus. I think it was against Virtus Pro. They did very well against Virtus Pro. And it looks like Aki will be playing Chen. But they managed to get Loader hidden in the corner there, just farming, and managed to get some farm there on. They got the pressure on with their other four heroes, and Loader just managed to, even though he had a bad start with the lifesteal, he managed to back off and actually catch up with the Midas and just get his farm happening in the end. And in the end, he completely steamrolled them with a lifesteal, which, to mention, could actually be a potential pick here. That could be something they're planning to go with. Now, Chen, though. Chen. So it looks like they're going for a defensive try here, I think. Or rather, a defensive dual lane with the Chen to back them up the jungle. Now, this means if Tyrant is taking a solo lane, this should be fairly easy for them to find an early tower. In fact, an early 2 towers. Viper, of course, level dependent, won't really be ready to come over and counter gank until he picks up that level 6. So they do have a bit of, around about that 5-minute mark, until about the 5-minute mark, they have plenty of time. They have a license to push. And it will be down to the Dire supports to teleport in and try and counter those pushes. But of course, that will leave Bounty Hunter some room to get some extra cash. So in the end, all is not lost. And of course, if the Dire team don't pick up their own jungler, well, if they play passive, it's going to allow No Titan to pick up some of that extra cash. Because, of course, one of the things you do with the jungler, even though you accelerate your gold and experience gain, the downside is, of course, you weaken your laning power. So if Dignitas don't capitalize on that, they could find themselves falling behind. So we'll see exactly how it turns out. But now the 4th pick here for Dignitas, and they are going through their overtime here, down to 20 seconds now. So I am suspecting another support is required, though. Jakiro likely to be a primary support, but I get the feeling that Tidehunter may be getting played as a farmer here. They will actually be dedicating him a little bit of farm just to use him as a bit of a bounce up the front of a fight. Or not, we will have a Luna picked up instead. And this is going to give Viper a lot of extra damage. In fact, Viper already hits like a truck. You throw in Luna's aura, and that really is going to cause some troubles here for the Radiant side. That said, though, Templar Assassin, who's she going to go up against? But this actually could be... okay then. Faceless Void being selected up here, and of course Faceless Void has got a great ult for early fights there. That said, though, they might find it a little bit difficult to really capitalize, unless Loader can plant like pretty much picture perfect ults, it's going to be difficult for Templar Assassin to find the range. Same for Bounty Hunter and Chen. Like, of course, these creep are mostly melee based, so it's going to be difficult to get them in and get those chain stuns rolling. So, I mean, this lineup doesn't have the hugest amount of synergy. That said, Rubik does have 2 huge ults he can steal there. Of course, Eclipse as well as Ravage. And, I mean, maybe if he gets his hands on Macropie, combine that with Faceless Void's ult, then, I mean, that could cause some serious pain as well. But we'll see what happens here. I'm not really feeling the same combo, but that's a Bane being picked up as well. Holy crap, Dignitas going out there with their picks. Definitely a very different lineup. Bane, not a common choice at all. I think Bane is going to be support here. Okay, I get the feeling Titan as a solo. Bane is going to be in Fogged. No, wait a minute. Fogged is playing... Okay, I think Fogged is going to be a roaming gank again. He's not playing a primary farmer. Viper, I-2000. Actually, that could be a suicide lane. Fogged might actually be mid. Tides, of course, taking a support role there. Where is Way Too Sexy going? Definitely some bit of a role switching there. Now, Loader is actually playing the Templar Assassin. S4 is on the Faceless Void. Hang on a minute. People are switching left, right, and center. Bulldog is going to be on the Bounty Hunter, so at least my entire world is not unraveling at the moment.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Okay then. Aki though will be playing Chan, and we will see Envy. We will see Envy on that Rubik, but definitely okay. It's a bit of a role switching here indeed. Alright then, so Fog will be playing Bane. I get the feeling he might be mid. I-2000. Actually, hang on, wait a minute. No, Snaking has picked up Luna. Snaking could actually be the mid here. Although that wouldn't make as much sense to me as the Viper taking mid against a Templar Assassin. Unless they're playing for a dual mid with S4 going. I mean, we've seen... I mean, this is going way back towards the first EDSWC for Dota 2 and the first International. But we saw Void and, say, Lich as a dual lane in mid. In fact, the Lich plus a hard carry mid like Void or Anti-Mage was a really common strategy. It hasn't been used for a long, long time, but still... This is very, very different. Okay. Still not dead sure how they're going to tricky swaps. Yeah, there we go. Mind games, indeed. Apparently... Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, they actually swapped heroes. Right. About to say, that was really different. But there we go. Mind games being played there. Loader will in fact be the Void. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Loader was indeed on the Templar Assassin. Apparently just trolling S4 there. They swap heroes afterwards though. And now Loader will be playing that Void indeed. I was going to say that I mean, like I said, that threw me off. And obviously was Dignitas going, what the hell? WTF, what is going on? There we go. Snaking though, actually taking the safe lane here, will be backed up by the Bane, and it will be I-2000 taking the solo mid here up against the Templar Assassin. This is going to be a bit rough for S4. We'll see how he deals with it. He has actually gone for the extra bit of regen there. Tangos plus a health potion. Looks like Tides... Oh, no, wait a minute. 5-man sweep here. They're all charging down here. Now, Fog likely to be that roaming gank again. They'll get the primary farm that is snaking. But this is going to be a bit of a rough gig for A2000, or even Titan if they're taking that suicide lane. It's not going to be much fun at all, but a 5-man sweep in the enemy jungle. Uh-oh, Void, Voda walking this. He's got the leap, though. We'll just jump over the trees. We'll get away to safety. If that would have been Chen, that would have been lights out. You saw that. They didn't bother wasting his spells. They knew it was like Void. Okay, he's just going to jump over the trees. Rubik now throwing down into some wards there. He's just backing it off a little bit, trying to get away from the usual counter ward spot here. Now this will watch for TP games. Kevin doesn't watch for the port animation itself, but when someone runs in, they will see them, of course, running off into the jungle there.
The battle begins.
And it looks like they are not going for an aggressive try. They are, in fact, going for a defensive try here with the Luna. And it will be Tide Hunter trying to solo here. And notice JT Chan going FFS triumph. It's going to be an aggressive try. Well, I guess what, mate? It was not. Dignitas playing it up, switching it around. Here we go. Bulldog will be taking the solo lane again. This is going to be a bit rough. It looks like Fog is going to focus on the pulling for a bit. Jakiro going to focus on the harassment. Fog going to try and get his farm here in the jungle, and of course picking up Nightmare. And again, if you open up with a Nightmare, you can definitely get some early kills in there. They throw out... Are they looking for... Was that a counter ward tossed down? I heard a ward get tossed down. Okay, there it is. This, of course, watching again for those TP ganks. And a counter ward tossed down there by the Dire side. Doesn't that block the camp? Okay, no, apparently that doesn't. I thought they could actually block the camp by putting one there, but apparently I'm incorrect. There we go, just looking for a ward there. Don't find any blocking ward as there wasn't one there. Titan now being harassed, actually chasing Envy off with an anchor smash. Envy having to back up a bit. Void now going to get aggressive, going to come in there, lay down a couple of auto attacks. On the other hand, this is okay. This is an okay result there for the Radiant side because they're basically forcing Titan constantly out of experience range. So as long as he keeps backing off and not picking up that experience, it's going to be annoying for him. But he is coming in, so he's trying to stay within range of this creep here, and he will pick up that experience. He's trying to hit that level 2, level 3 area. Meanwhile, though, in the mid, A2000 actually copying a fair bit of damage there. It looks like the spill damage. He's not doing too well against his Spy Blades. You see a Templar Assassin actually going for a Refraction Side Blades. Refraction again. This is fairly stock standard stuff. We'll pick up the Meld next as well. Now, Bounty Hunter moving. Uh-oh, he's going to come in here trying to pick up some CS. Getting caught out. Ice Path. No, it is a dual breath there. Jakiro, not actually. That's an interesting choice. Normally we see dual breath as the opening spell. But he actually opens up. I suppose the slow is going to be more powerful than the 1 second stun. It's just more the distance there on the stun more than anything else. The Ice Path. S4 now looking for the 2-minute rune, does find it, of course, forcing the lane back under the tower while he does it. Of course, the side blade's really good at that. Now we've seen Viper gone for 1 in his poison, and 1 in his orb, and then 2 in the nether toxin. You see stacking and pulling happening here. Bulldog doing what he can to just leech a little bit of experience here and there, and early boots there for Luna has gone for the tranquil boots, going to make it very speedy. Meanwhile, bottom lane, how's Titan faring? 0 CS so far, about the same for Bulldog. Up in the top lane, both suicide lanes not picking up anything just yet, but at the very least, I believe they're getting experience at the moment. Bulldog, oh no, Bulldog really suffering in terms of experience, still level 1. Almost level 3 for Titan, and he hasn't been able to get a little bit closer. Of course, the shield helping him out somewhat there, as well as his own natural resilience. Bounty Hunter has actually opted to go for the early Poor Man's Shield as well. But of course, it is a lesser lane presence for Titan to go up against. We see that poison there, just knocking off the refraction. Titan again getting feeling, I guess, and he can get fairly aggressive. He doesn't have to worry too much about Void, and at the moment, Chen is more worried about his own farm. But this is what I mean. Right now, Dignitas, they have to concentrate on making this laning phase really, really work for them, because unfortunately, as it is, they are being given a bit of an easier laning phase. So, Titan is finding it easier, obviously, because there's no laning. The lane presence has been weakened. That's what a jungler does. But at the same time, this will make no Titan's mid game a lot stronger because they're getting that extra experience, extra gold there from that jungle. And Bulldog, of course, is just looking for levels, hitting level 3 now. Once he just starts spreading around those tracks and they start picking up kills with the tracks, Templar Assassin finds those kills, he will start getting his own money in the end there. Doesn't need that CS too badly. Templar Assassin over the double damage. Templar Assassin 22 and 6, Viper 11 and 3. Viper definitely suffering somewhat. A2000 not really managing to deal with the Templar Assassin there.
Regeneration.
Snaking though the extra damage here, has gone for 2 in his aura as well as 2 in his Lunar Strike there as well. Now a bit of a gank here, no, just harassment there for Envy. Envy ducking around behind the trees, decides not to commit to it. In fact, dragging one of the creeps away for a moment. Now Fogged hasn't really been mobile yet. I was kind of expecting to get mobile and go for these ganks, just try and open things up with Nightmare, as well as cause Brain Stab, but it looks like we're going to have Bulldog duck away in the trees, but they do have some counter wards here, and they might be able to find him as well. I think they know the direction he's going, they can see him on top of that. Uh-oh, Bulldog. So much he can do here. In fact, he's going to eat his way through there, and then going to go invisible yet again. He's going to need to. In fact, Tide's going there, doesn't see the trees cut down, though. How does he not see us? There we go, he's found it now. He's giving chase. The Bulldog now being caught out. He's going to go right around behind the tower. He's in fact going to try and escape through here. Might be able to make it away. In fact, I think they've run into counter ward, so he should be able to escape. Yes, just fades away. Bulldog with a good escape. In fact, way too sexy also coming up here looking for a gank. Doesn't find anything as Rubik, though, gets the first blood on mid. They do pick him off there.
I came here to be tested.
With the help of Aki and Envy, they do jump in, get the first blood there on the Viper unfortunately getting picked off in the confusion there in the top lane. Now the Bounty Hunter nearly level 4. That said, the Dire Star, they are going to get an early tower down. They definitely want to put on this pressure, maybe take another one if they can, even if they want to pub train it up the mid and just try and force down the mid tower. They need to do something here because they do not want to let this go around about the 20-minute mark with the Chen free farming the jungle, getting up those early pipe mech, all sorts of good stuff there for his team, and then they can start getting those track kills down. Definitely going to be rough stuff. That said, though, late game, it's going to come down to Void or Luna. Who can hit harder? In all honesty, I'm not dead sure. We'll find out. Void actually going for an early Midas here. Loader is going to be rolling in cash. He's going to have fat stacks everywhere. Bulldog now out of regen at the moment. Still hasn't picked up his boots. 600 gold in the bank there. 82,000 boots, bottle. How is the Templar Assassin doing? Phase boots, a bottle as well. Looking for that magic wand. Tidehunter though, he's starting to struggle a little bit. Losing experience now. He's starting to struggle on the experience gain there. Bounty Hunter getting ahead of him there. I think it comes down to his little sojourn up to the top lane there and finding absolutely nothing to do, which is a lot of wasted time.
Denied.
Bulldog now. Snaking though, just going to CS the creep more to use your nuke there to CS as well. Snaking though farming well, 44 and 13, whereas in the bottom lane though it looks like a potential push down here. Chan is going to start getting rolling. A mess of skeletons here, although he's only got one troll at the moment. This is going to force Tidehunter back. He's going to have very little room to farm now. Envy also moving up, just scouting out in the trees, just hoping he can get a grab there over the trees. If he sends the skeletons out to scout, doesn't manage to do anything though. Dire's courier actually gets picked off. I think it might have fallen there in the jungle. Haster managed to find it out, and now Tide's in a bit of trouble. He gets the ice path down the Bounty Hunter. Track, no track yet. Still only level 5. They will get the kill. Teleports back to the mid lane. They get an easy kill there, but this bottom tower still up and standing. Well, that's their double catapults. It won't be there for too long. And they do have the creep wave to tank for this, and Tide are not going to be able to find a deny there. Void going to take that last hit as well. Void with that Midas still picking up that cash on top of that. Void with the net worth much higher, although that said, Vivax, what have we look at gold per minute? 450 there for Void, 370 for Luna, and 380 for Templar Assassin. No Tidehunter didn't ban Tidehunter. It's a bit of a joke, really. I mean, this goes back as we're going to see the Eclipse there. Use Loader, though. Going to be able to escape by looks of it. Actually, no, he doesn't have a leap up. He should be taken out here. One more hit. Pops it. Oh, no, gets hit by the Nightmare, in fact. And he will get cleaned up. Popped a health potion. Not going to happen there. Has finished up his eye on his boots at the very least. So now the push on top. S4 going to hold that off. Now, where was I? Okay, it's named for no time. This goes back to when Tidehunter was actually a far more common pick. As it is right now, of course, the metagame has shifted up. Sven, Wisp becoming huge priorities on the ban list. Same for Templar Assassin, Batrider, and the fact that we only have 2 initial bans now as well. It really doesn't leave you for as much room to ban out this Tidehunter early on. As well as the fact that Tidehunter is just not as prevalent as he once was in terms of a pick. So the name is sort of stuck around as a joke because no Tidehunter didn't like ganking or tower diving when Tidehunter had Ravage up. But regardless, it's all trivia. And now 80,000 should be able to back away here. Actually, no, Envy going to gun for this. Going to pick him up there with the telekinesis. Now we also have Net Creep coming as well. They're going to gun for this one, but there's the ult on S4. Going to lose all of his refraction charges to this poison. And they're going to finish off. Great counter gank there from Dignitas. A bit of lucky timing as well. The pick off Chen's creep to boot. Counter wall gets thrown down on the high ground. Looking for a Bounty Hunter. They find nothing though. Bounty Hunter still in the top lane. And now it looks like the pressure is on from Dignitas. This is what they need to happen. They need to keep this pressure on in this early game because they don't want to buy time for Chen to get that cash out. Then Chen still looking for the mech. About halfway there. Early tower down for snaking again. That said though, we've got to keep in mind Void is still farming extremely well. Has been left to his own devices as well. He's been ganked once, but that said, you know, it's not so much a gank, especially against someone who has an early Midas. It's not the gank, it's the lane pressure, and right now there has been about 0 lane pressure on this Void. In fact, the only time he got ganked is when he pushed up past the first tier tower.
Double damage.
Of course, we need to keep in mind that Luna is also free farming as well. She hasn't gone for her own Midas though. She has gone for the earlier drums, in fact. She's gone for speed at the moment. But of course, Dignitas, I think, are just going to try and force earlier team fights than Void is prepared for. Of course, between Eclipse and Ravage, they have a lot of teamfight potential there. So if they see they can force anything, though, that said, the counter initiation from Void can be quite brutal indeed. Templar Assassin, though, just going to pop a traps down on the runes. S4, how's he doing? 1-1-1. Definitely not as brutal as his first game. That said, the matchup was not as easy as his first game, of course. Templar Assassin can completely wreck. Get different ward animations. It looks like they're going to spot out Bulldog, but there's the Eclipse. Will pick off the Bounty Hunter. Gets a little bit too close there. Of course, we saw exactly what Templar Assassin does to poor old Stormsborough. Completely shreds him. S4 now looking for some last hits. Will manage to pick them up. As at the moment, the pressure being put on, though, Dignitas, their bottom lane here. In pressure, the counter push, the defense being mounted right now. It looks like Shen will back up. Meanwhile, Void has gone to the top lane to farm instead. He's being a little bit worried. He's not too dead sure where the heroes are, but now he's going to see them down here in a second, and he will know that they can push up and farm here for the moment. In fact, he's actually going to try and take out Titan again. Maybe look for an early bash. The Gush gets tossed down. Of course, he's got to look out for the Anchor Smash as well. Void needs to actually be really careful. He's kind of squishy here, switching to Strength Traders to try and make himself a little bit tankier. Assassin's going to pick up some Ancient Farm here as well. Chen, not as farmed as he could be, in all honesty. He has been moving around a fair bit. Only 200 gold per minute at the moment. He has picked up his... Rubik actually been given a bit of farm. Has picked his Arcane. In fact, Chen been doing a little bit of the water. Now they're going to jump top. Boy gets picked off there. Bane getting him with a Fiend's Grip, but they should be able to get a counter kill here on Tidehunter. There you go. Mel hit to finish things off, although Envy now being chased down. Fog now in a bit of trouble. They throw down... Oh, shit. Oh, he steals the Nightmare. Also pops the Nightmare on Fog. And now they're going to wait for Fog to come in a Nightmare. Get to catch him out. Shuriken as well. Should be able to finish him off. Track. No, he gets the kill there. He spots up Envy. They will get the track kill, at least a bit of a revenge, but I mean, that's the best result Fog could have hoped for. Unfortunately, Envy being scattered out in those trees. And definitely not what he was hoping. He was really hoping to get that track money there, but now the push on the bottom line. Dignitas keeping up the pressure. This is exactly what they need to do here. Check the gold chart. Still very even, though. See the big spike there. A couple of towers taken for Dignitas. Actually, wait a minute. No, that's a Radiant. What am I saying? Actually, I think it was their first tower they're possibly taken. We see the counter-attack here from the Radiant side. They're going to charge in here. Not dead sure what that spike is then. Might have been their first tower. However, Dignitas, of course, hitting back with a couple of towers of their own, has drawn this down quite a bit. Luna, though, very speedy. Early Yasha. They throw it in the counterward. S4 has been spotted. A bit slowed as well. Refraction going to try and help out. Going to get popped off very quickly. The slow, the Void, though, gets the ult down to stave. I don't know if they can kill, though. Now Chen coming in, and this is what I mean about the range there. S4 walking in, though, in the end, will get sent home by Chen. They pick off Luna, and they will try and pick off A2000, although Bulldog gets in trouble. The counter ward is down, though. He will get picked off there. Viper getting taken out. Ice Path getting tossed out. Misses, though. Envy now giving chase. Anchor Smash takes out Chen, and Void gets a bash off there, but here comes Fog. He's got Fiend's Grip up 2 in a second. Loader needs to get out. Gets slowed. He's got Leap up. Still takes seconds away. We've got the return of S4. They're going to try and pick up Bane before he can use a nuke. They pick him off. Can they take out Titan as well? The slow's coming up 3 seconds away. A Blink Dagger on Templar Assassin as well. Good send back there by Chen. The slow coming out, going to catch out. Way too sexy. And now we've got the chase here. We see the Twin-Headed Dragon is on his way, but he may be too slow. Track getting tossed into well. The negative armor going to be crippling here. 1 more hit, 2 more hits. There we go. They bring him down. And no Tidehunter. A great response there from him. But that's what I mean about the Void ult. Especially this early on, of course, very difficult for S4 to work with it because of the short range there on the side blades. Although Luna is back, they did back up, Eclipse pop down, and it looks like, well, the refraction is going to absorb most of that, fortunately. With wards being tossed down everywhere for the Dire side.
Top tower is under attack.
Templar Assassin going to run right past it, blinks away though, not getting caught out by a potential Ice Path. Viper, though, A2000 has done his trademark mech first here on the Viper, also gone for treads, but Boots, Bottle and Trek, this is stock standard stuff for A2000. This is how he likes to build it. And rather than go for a damage item, like a Monkey King Bar, or that sort of thing, like we've seen in the past, like the very early International 1 Vipers, they go for damage, Monkey King Bar, Assault, that sort of stuff. Instead, he will go for, most likely, he'll try and pick up an Arcanum Scepter, just so he can spam his ultimate. And basically use it as a crippling slow there on Void, just to make it really hard for him to get on top of his targets and stay on top of his targets. And there we go. Roshan being picked off there. Fairly easy Roshan there with the mech. Not too hard for them to bring down. It's the pressure there on mid, although Templar Assassin having to blink out. And she'd most likely, I think, be going for a BKB next. Mostly so she can avoid the Macropire, the Ice Path, the Ravage, all that. We'll need to watch out for Fiend's Grip, obviously, though. In fact, Bane building himself a Soul Ring right now. Shen's creep just going to get harassed there a little bit, and see Luna has picked up first level in the glaives there. And the pressure is on again from Dignitas. They want to keep this up. They don't want to buy time for Void to get that. Speaking of Void getting bad, he looks like he's going for a Maelstrom for his early farming item instead of a Battle Fury. And of course, we've seen Voids go for Battle Furies in the past. Definitely a decent item to farm with, but this will stack better with the fact that, of course, he needs attack speed, and it will also let him cut through creep waves fairly easily. Shen's creep going to cop some nukes, so they will lose their mid tower, but at the same time, some pressure put on by Void, and more importantly, some farm time found for Void. As long as they can hold on for another 10-15 minutes or so, I think Void is going to hit the critical mass that he needs to. But of course, they need to buy time for Void to farm. The thing is, of course, pressure on Void, and this is what's not being achieved by Dignitas right now. You can see that the highest gold per minute, 470 gold per minute. Void is finding the farm he can. No Tidehunter though. If they can pick up this bottom tower as well, and then start warding aggressively, taking control of Void's jungle, they can really make sure that they can keep the pressure on Void and prevent him from farming. But the issue is he has already got a lot of early farm, and the early Midas as well, still going to make this very hard to shut him down. They didn't get those early lane pressure on him in the bottom lane, so this may backfire on him. That said though, of course, they do have Luna up their sleeve, and she of course has had plenty of early farm as well. So you saw nearly 100 CS, and of course 440 gold per minute. And the net worth is just behind Void. See Void though just finishing up his Maelstrom now. This will let him cut through the jungle creep fairly easily, especially with his Midas as well. And attack speed also being really going to be appreciated. I think he's going to gun for this kill though. There we go, drops his ult, going to gun for this. And Luna though, she's got Eclipse up, it's going to be close here. One more hit, he will get it, but he only knocks off the Aegis, and Void now will have to teleport out. There we go, jumping away and immediately teleporting away to safety. But a nice pick off there, getting rid of the Aegis. It will make them think twice about diving these bottom towers now, these tier 2 towers. Now the Aegis is gone. See the track tossed down there on the Tidehunter. Some more warding being done by Chico, and this is what they need though. To try and shut down the Void's farm is to take control of the jungle. One of the best things they can do obviously is get rid of map vision for the Radiant side, which is what they've been doing. The Radiant side currently, no wards up, they have bugger all vision. Void now, looks like he's just going to take, an Ancient stack there. And it looks like he's actually going for a Mask of Madness next. Okay, no, he's actually just going to use the Maelstrom, not for farming. Well, for farming as well as just flat out damage, because it's going to try and proc and spread lightning everywhere. Of course, that said, needs to be careful, needs to be very careful about not catching, if he doesn't catch Bane inside his ult, this could be problematic, because Bane, of course, can throw down nightmares on people, even his teammates try and get Void to hit them, or on Void himself, and of course can try and Fiend's Grip him as well. Even though the range isn't huge, but it's large enough to try and Fiend's Grip from outside. So we'll need to be very, very careful about that. And there we go, 82,000 working on his Arcanum Scepter. This is trademark stuff for him. And looking for a gank here on S4. Oh, blinks away. I was about to say Fogged, about to grab him there, snag him up. Either with a setup on the Nightmare. In fact, he's... Oh, this is going to be annoying for Void. In fact, this is possibly why he went away from the flat damage, is because obviously he has to deal with Enfeeble. And Enfeeble is annoying, but with attack speed and lightning procs, of course, he can just try and source damage in another fashion.
Middle tower is under attack.
That's it though. BKB would help put an end to the whole Enfeeble crap. But they have actually gone for max down really early Enfeeble instead of Nightmare. Nightmare level 1. Mostly just going to be used for fight disruption more than anything else. Of course, you can use it to try and save damage as well. But Luna now working on her Mantis style, nearly there, only about 500 gold away from that. Meanwhile, Twin-Headed Dragon, no mech yet. Oh no, she doesn't need a mech. Of course, Viper's already picked it up. So Twin-Headed Dragon. Twin-Headed Dragon might even go for... I mean, this is a lineup that would definitely appreciate that Veil of Discord. Of course, Luna will really appreciate it. Of course, Chikiro himself loves the Veil of Discord flat out. Works well with his spells. And of course, I have a timer in there and plenty of magical damage from Viper on top of that. Of course, his ult stings. So I mean, all round, they can do some serious damage if they get that Veil. So I'm kind of expecting to see Chikiro build it when he can, that said. He is the primary support this match, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to get it. And then again, Bane is doing a lot of the supporting as well, so who knows, we'll see.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But now it looks like Dignitas are going to dive in on this bottom tower, but it looks like they're just going to respond with the counter push, going for 2 of their own. This is definitely a decent response here from No Titan to trade 1 tower for 2. I like this approach here, although it looks like they might only get 1. In fact, they may have to teleport back for a base race in a moment. You see the preemptive Sonic Trap getting thrown down. This is going to make anybody worried about teleporting in. Looks like they may get this top tower at the same time, though they may have to abandon their push here on the mid one and only trade for one, because right now Dignitas, they are making a run here on the base tower.
Dire's middle tower.
No, it looks like Loader is prepared to try and get this tower. Bulldog is going to jump back already. They're just going to try and get some tracks prepared. Loader going to try and get this tower if it kills him, or makes him lose a racks in return. He's going to lose this base tower possibly. They're trying to get rid of his creep. See a steal there. What did he get? He got the Lunar Strike there. No Eclipse. If that's not Eclipse, no, it's no. It's Lucid Beam, of course. Loader now. In fact, no, they're just going to go for it. Base race is on. They're going 2 towers to 1. They're going to try and get this. I think they need to teleport back. Loader has come back now. They do need to come home. They still need to wait for the Templar Assassin as well. Looks like they are just going to back up. They're willing to trade here. 2 towers for 2, in fact. They gave away 2 base towers, but this Rack's just being harassed. They need to do something about this. Templar Assassin still not. There we go. Finally coming home. They're really running this. They're running a huge risk here. See Ambi hanging around up the front here. Getting ready to try and nick a spell. I see 2000 being the bait. He's well on his way here. They throw it in the Sonic Trap. They're just trying to slow him down a bit. Deep Breath being used to spam this back, but we see Tyner hanging back. He does have a blink up his sleeve as well. Need to blink forward there. BKB, they're going to try and pick up Viper. Viper backing up. Has popped the mech already. Pops down his ultimate. The slow going right through the BKB. The damage is not, though. See another side trap thrown down as well. They pick off the Twin Dragon. Gem is down. And now they're going to pick off Luna. Here goes Void. Going to gun for this one. Throws out the Enfeeble on him, though. And the Nightmare as well. Luna to make Void back off. Side trap not getting popped, though. Luna going to be allowed to walk up. No, not. There's the slow. They're bounty hunter with a track as well. A Janata slows off, but she's so quick, even with the slow. There we go. Void landing his own slow. Lands a bash as well. Unfortunately, not doing that much damage because of the Enfeeble. But that said, still getting the procs off of the lightning as well as the bashes. And definitely a troublesome result there for Dignitas. Not only do they lost 2 towers, they traded for towers, then lost a team fight. That hurts. And this is going to buy Void the time he needs to get fat. And see Void actually going for a BKB next. This will put an end to the Enfeeble shenanigans. That said though, Viper can still try and kite him. As we saw against the Templar Assassin, that slow is definitely painful stuff for these short-range carries / semi-carries to try and get in on their target. And of course, if Void starts getting kited, it's definitely going to be very, very frustrating for him. That lightning getting spread around though. And see, S4 about to get picked off. Doesn't have buyback either. Tries to meld the hide. Actually, no, he has a buyback. It's only 700 gold. I'm wrong. See, Bounty Hunter has also picked up extra life steal there. Of course, the extra armor there from the Vladimir's offering. Always appreciated, as well as the pushing power as well. Now, Chen, how's he going in terms of farm? Has picked up his mech. Rubik, though, has taken over most of the warding. There we go, the counter wards as well as wards. Did they pick up the gem? Yes, they did pick up the gem. Did they destroy the gem or did they keep it? Looks like they broke the gem, unless it's on the courier or not. Bit of a smoke gang. I think they're just possibly ninjaing here for a kill. And in fact, they're going to pick off Void as well as Chan. This is painful. Do they have buybacks? And Void, no buyback. He's going to spot them though. Should be able to escape this. In fact, you see it dive in. He's got his ult up. Pops the BK. Ravage goes down, but he doesn't really care all that much. Chen sends him home just for safety. He blew the BKB though. This could be problematic as we should have Templar Assassin up in a moment. Now it's going to be a 4v5 though, and they don't have Chen's ult ready to go. This is only level 1 though. Void now jumping in, throws down the ult, catches 3 heroes. This is the opportunity they need. Luna's going to get picked off. Fantastic play there by Void. Gets off the ult they need. Ice Path coming down, catches Loader. Now it's still Ice Path catches 2 heroes in return. Loader now giving chase. The trackers down there on Twin-Head Dragon, giving Loader the speed he needs. They pick up another hero. There we go. Tidehunter is down. Great counter attack there from No Tidehunter. And will they even find Bane? Bane is still back up. In fact, oh, there's an invis there. He should... Nope, he doesn't see it. Walks right past it. Instead, S4 will get his hands on that. I honestly thought that Void might actually just BKB up and just throw in his ult and then BKB up and just fight there. But in the end, Chen played it safe, sent him home instead. And made sure that he didn't get picked off. And of course, the counter gank, as we saw, was absolutely fantastic. So, S4 now trying to back up to that counter wards available. Dust gets popped down. S4 maybe in a little bit of trouble. Nightmare as well. Fiend's Grip. They have an Eclipse as well if they need it, but I don't think they should. Ice Path used to try and disrupt this though. Unfortunately, Envy just off with his range. There we go. Clips getting popped. Does absolutely nothing. Although, actually, no, I lie. Envy walks straight into that. Actually takes a loan. Chen popping, healing, hand of God there. And still 16 seconds for Void's ult. The slow being popped down, although he does have the leap up. And he can just jump over the trees towards safety there as Ice Path gets tossed down again. But it looks like Chen might get picked off again. Chen trying to get away the track. It's going to help him out, but he gets slowed down by Viper's ult. And there's another Lucent Beam. Anchor Smash as well. Gem gets dropped, and they will hand that back over to the Dire side. He's going to lose his creep on top of that as well. I think Shen dropped that scroll to try and deny it. Although, there we go. Titan being picked up here. Templar Assassin starts BKB on Void. Now drops the ult. Here it goes. He's going for Luna again. Luna taking critical damage at the moment. Void slowed. Macropie goes in. Void trying to back up here. Void probably going to take a fall. They should be there to take him out. They clean up Void. Templar Assassin, though, still in the mix. Going to try and run down Viper. Dust gets popped as well. As we see the slow there thrown down. The Nightmare thrown down. The slow gets tossed on Templar Assassin. But Bulldog is still able to catch up. That track speed and the slow there from the Poison, not enough to speed him up. Not enough to stop the speed there from track, and just the general speed from Templar Assassin, of course. They're naturally a lot faster there than Viper, especially with the phase boots. Viper naturally a slow hero, and Void is now back up. Did he buy back? He bought back. Void bought back just to seal the deal, but it looks like he's going to pick up this Roshaniten, and they might gun for a Rax, although I don't think so. Actually, 30 seconds. Viper will be up. They'll have to wait. There we go, Void with an Aegis now. This is bad news indeed. Dignitas, let's check the gold chart. Dignitas now falling behind by a good nearly 8,000 gold there, along with a 12k plus experience deficit for the Dire side as well. BKB is on a 7-second charge there for Templar Assassin. How much for Void? No, 8 seconds for Void as well. Luna, on the other hand, looks like she's getting a Helm of the Dominator in a moment. Has picked up the Manta style. Unfortunately, there's not much she can do. Just Void is target firing her in this bubble every single time. I mean, she might have gone for a butterfly, maybe some evasion could help her out, but we'll see. It's a Bulldog though, just gonna... Well, I thought he was gonna stack, but I think he's actually gonna try and fight. There's not much he can do about it though. I don't think he can beat this. Or maybe. He's got a Vlad's, I suppose. I think he's actually just gonna stack this for Templar Assassin in a moment. Templar Assassin, 3.5k in the bank. In fact, how much is Loda sitting on? Loda has 1,800 in the bank too, but of course, he's definitely going to buy back there. And in fact, Templar Assassin going to make a run at Luna, although Luna just going to pop her illusions and then force TA to back up. I don't think she wants to risk hopping the Eclipse to the face there, especially with the refraction potentially down. As Void actually going to try and take up Fog here. As we see, Viper has actually managed to give away his ult there to Envy. Void, I don't know about that bubble, you know, it's 90 seconds now. That said, Viper now throwing in his own ult there on Void. Void, though, dodging the damage at the very least, but does burn a charge there. In fact, he's still got his ult. In fact, Luna's here, he needs to jump away, leaps away there, should be able to escape. I was going to say, does not want to give away that Aegis. That would be a pretty big blow there. As Bulldog is, in fact, still fighting these Ancients. So he really, really, really wants to farm them. He's bought something, though. It's on its way out. Is it a BKB? No, he already has his BKB out. He's buying some fairly late drums. Of course, any speed he can lend to Void, definitely critical. Loro Jakiro now buying his own BKB by the looks of things. I honestly don't know how much that's actually going to help him, but... Oh, actually, that could be a Heaven's Halberd in an attempt to try and shut down Void and Tear, but that said, they do have BKBs, which, you know, helps them out quite a bit. In fact, if he's trying to protect himself, a Ghost Scepter would have been better for him, but that said, I think it's more to try and help out his teammates than anything else, as Templar Assassin finds himself a Desolator. Lots and lots of negative armor now. Bounty Hunter with a track, Desolator, and Meld. That's a lot of neg armor. And definitely going to allow them to slice through Luna very quickly. Of course, she has 20, but once you start reducing that, damage reduction starts to fall rather rapidly. Late 2000, very susceptible to it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Void though, still with the Aegis. Don't know how long is left. In fact, actually, let's check the timer. Okay, he's got about half of it left there. Blink over the top of the trees there. Viper, no, not being caught out. Viper. 2.2k in the bank. They give away a free tower there to Void. Void has finished up Mjolnir as well. And does he also have cash for buyback? Yes, he does indeed have money for buyback as well if he needs it. Time of the buyback. Back in a minute. The counter warding done there. Looks like they've managed to pick up the gem again. Now Void actually, we're going to pop his Mask of Madness and head off. to, I'm not dead sure. Oh, he's in somewhere in a hurry. Okay, to mid lane to catch up on that farm. Now Luna seems to be holding off there on her Helm of the Dominator. Does she have, I think she's okay. Oh no, she could buy it and then have money for buyback. Okay. Let's see where she's going with that. Boyd now leaping, oh no, not leaping forwards there. Did pop the Mask of Madness. Looked like he might be gunning for something there, but they don't find themselves a potential kills. Luna's Illusion's getting it knocked out there by Chen. She's just sending them down to the lane, harass. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a push there from the dire time. Dignitas keeping pressure on the top lane. However, they are going to teleport back for the big fight in the mid lane. This is definitely going to be a deciding fight here. If no Titan to win this, there will be a Rax delivered, I think. And so, that said, can Dignitas hold up? I don't know. There are a lot of BKBs on the Dire team. It's going to come down to how well can Fog land a Fiend's Grip in the middle of this. Ice Path gets tossed down there on Loader. Are they going to try and capitalize on this? They decide no. Macropie gets wasted there. As it's a net down on Viper. Viper, they mentioned to back up. S4 quite happy to sit inside the Macropie. And Void now getting picked up here, although he does have the Argon step. They're going to try and bait them down on him. He does have, not the Argon, he's got the Aegis on him. They can try and bait this fight forward. Loader now going to get taken out there. Loses the Aegis, however, they don't manage to pick up anything in return. Not a great trade there as they go for the Fiend Grip. Don't mention Fire Bulldog now getting hit by Nightmare Titan. He comes in, pops out the Ravage. Gonna hit a lot of heroes there. Hand of God pop. BKB now for Void. Throws to the bubble. Catches 2 heroes, but it's not Luna. He will take out Titan at the very least, but he's already popped this Ravage. Fog is the next one to fall. I think, yes, Fog does get cleaned up. Down Titan's next one to go. Also, they managed to take him out as well. Down goes Viper. Viper buys back, but Luna's still in this fight. Well, that said, she's had to go back to heal. In fact, did she buy back? No, she did not. She just ran back to heal, and they will pick off this Rax. Unfortunately, that bubble was too strong. Nobody engaged while the bubble was up, and it looks like Luna didn't even burn. In fact, Luna did not even participate. Went for the base race and failed at it. They've lost the Rax to teleport back. I think this was a poor choice in Dignitas. Well, that said, arguably, with the BKBs up and the way that Luna is getting target fight every fight, maybe they decided, you know what, we couldn't win the fight even with Luna present. Let's just try and counter push as Viper is about to get picked up again. In fact, he's popped a Ghost Scepter to try and get away from this. Gets netted down though, not happening. Track kill there again. And GG is called. Dignitas falling yet again to the power of no Tidehunter, who despite a Tidehunter win this one fairly comfortably. Like we said, it was the pressure on Void. It looked like Dignitas were doing really well, but they just didn't get the pressure on Void. Void, even though they ganked him once, it just came down to the fact that they didn't pressure his farm. Void was being left alone to get the farm he wanted, and Luna just unable to out-farm that and getting target fight every fight on top of that. The initiation value from Void was just a lot stronger than what Dignitas had in their court. But guys, this has been Triumph of Man casting for the Premier League Season 3. Now we do have Absolute Legends versus Mutual Makers coming up in around about 5 minutes, so stay tuned for that. Well, it's scheduled for 5 minutes, however, Star Ladder is running late, so it might be delayed by up to maybe 20-30 minutes, so keep that in mind. We will try and get it underway as soon as possible, but depending on how other tournaments are running, it may be delayed somewhat. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Of course, you can check out our website, thepremierleague.eu. Make sure you check that out for standing stuff like that, as well as information. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Triumph Man on Twitter. And stay tuned. We also will try and pick up an interview with Eternal Envy in a moment. So I'll see whether or not we can work that out. But otherwise, stay tuned. We will have Mutual Makers versus Absolute Legends coming up fairly soon after this next interview.